Hey, what's up, YouTube Boxing family, YouTube gaming family? It is IK right here. All right, let's talk about it. We got some Tekken today. I wanted to make a Tekken video to talk about the state of Tekken, and I wanted to give my take on this because I found this to be very interesting. Tekken 8 is possibly not in a good spot right now, and I wanted to give my take on the current state of Tekken, where this game is really, really good in terms of the visual graphics, everything that you see with this game. And it has a lot of, like, Tekken has a lot to offer. But before I do that, be sure to hit the like button, do what you got to do, share the video around, and I'm definitely going to come out with more content in the future. So definitely stay tuned with my gaming videos. I'm definitely going to come out and talk about some really good content. But also credit to this YouTuber. I just basically managed to kind of like run some Tekken gameplay in the background. This YouTuber's name is Tekken 8 Replay, so I wanted to give credit for anybody having to see this. So, all right, so yeah, let's get right into it. My whole take on this is that Tekken 8 is in a really bad spot, and I will say that this game has a lot to offer in terms of where this game will go in the future. And I personally do believe that where this game will go is that it has a lot of great things to do, and we don't really know where this game will go within the future. But I will say that Tekken 8 looks to be done. This game looks to be done, thrown to the garbage. The Tekken 8 community does not seem to be happy with what's going on with the recent patches that have been coming to the game. I personally was wanting to get Tekken in the future. Well, get Tekken from the past, heading into the future. But ever since all these crazy balance changes with making characters super broken, and also giving like what heat mode, right, to be like an infinite thing to do. So like you could basically stay in heat mode as long as you want, and you could just basically like perma spam as many combos as you want. I just don't think that's a good idea. I think that's really stupid. I think it's really dumb that that I forgot what the company that develops Tekken, but Tekken developers are not doing good by allowing that crap to happen. Because if you're gonna ever have anything like that, like a heat system, or at least like a rage art, it needs to be just like a one-time thing to do, where I think that's where they had it right. If you could only use heat and a rage art only one time, then that's it. You can't use it for the rest of the match. So you have to just basically use your proper mechanics with your character and try to win. But a lot of people don't like to be fair in the game, and I can tell that this game has a lot of broken, like a like this game has a lot of broken tech in it, but it's just not like this game does not feel like actual Tekken. This game kind of feels like a pay to win type of game, and you're kind of spamming your characters to kind of get a free victory. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. So yeah, this game is definitely pay to win. I don't like the fact that you're able to go out of your way to spam broken characters in Tekken. And this game had great mechanics back in the old days, especially back in like Tekken. I would say Tekken 3 or Tekken 4. I'm a very old school guy. Yes, I am old, but I'm not super old yet. So hopefully I don't ever have to be like that. But if I have kids, which I probably will, I don't want to put myself in a bad position of being super super duper grandpa old. So, but hey, life will go on, and this channel will still be KRod7435, from the current, present day. So, heading into the future, I'm not gonna be changing when I get super duper old. So, but yeah, yeah, this game is really beautiful, man. I mean, Tekken 8 just has a lot of broken stuff in this game that a lot of players have been complaining for quite a while. And I don't like the fact that this game is catering to a lot of cheaters too. The cheaters are just really rampant, and from what I've seen from other YouTubers, like Mike Hollow, shout out to him. He had one particular gamer on his show. I forgot what his name was, but he was basically explaining how certain cheaters, especially on the PC, have been running hacks to basically get free wins off of people in ranked or probably just in regular matches, but it's probably mostly in ranked games where they're able to just get these free wins and then they're trying to get away with it by not getting caught. But I think eventually, the Tekken company is probably going to end up finding them soon, and I would hope that these people can get IP banned for having their whole computer to not be able to go online, but also like get rid of their like accounts too. So yeah, I think it's really terrible to have, all these crappy cheaters that come onto the game to ruin the experience and also the time and effort that you come online to even compete at a high level. And I just think I think it's really crappy, man. It's kind of similar to like what you saw with well, I'm not too sure if Dragon Ball Z Spark and Zero had something like that, but I want to say that they did. So I will say, like, for a person that is a PC gamer, I I think cheaters can be taken out of the picture. But how you do that is that you need to have an anti-cheat where you don't have all these players going out of their way to be connected to a public server that is not checking their security credentials of what they're running. If you're gonna have a good strong anti cheat, the anti cheat system should probably be automated through some sort of AI, a scripting software to go check the verification details of a person's credentials to be logged in online. So therefore once a server is to be created between two players to face each other online, it's verifying their data to make sure that they're playing the game fairly and they're not having to cheat. And I think it would be better to kind of have AI come in to basically regulate those particular how should I say those particular instances of people that want to cheat, in games like Tekken or Mortal Kombat 1, in which I definitely made like a video about that, but I should have also mentioned like about that too. That MK1 is also like a, train wreck with having cheaters at times. And for anybody trying to say that console players don't deal with cheaters as if people can't cheat on console, I disagree with that. You can cheat on any console if you have the right tools and the mechanics to utilize your means to keep yourself hidden from from the security measures that could possibly come back at you. And what's been really common with a lot of PlayStation and Microsoft level products like Xbox and Sony is that PlayStation and Microsoft have been heavily criticized for having really poor security flaws with their consoles, but it's been mostly dealt with Sony lately, where with Sony, I don't know if anybody remembers that back in the day, Sony consoles got heavily compromised to the point where PlayStation had to shut down their servers because they were getting hacked constantly with their PS3 consoles, along with PlayStation 4 and and on top of that, the PS5 in certain cases. So I could very well believe that Sony and Microsoft have their fair share of massive online hackers, because if the hackers are smart enough to break into their console and jailbreak it and run some sort of third party software to give themselves some privacy protection for them to not get caught for them cheating, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a massive issue that is happening as we speak. And the best way to prevent this is that you need to have some sort of AI automated, software scripting or software, component to go after these people and to heavily monitor them. Because if Sony and Microsoft is not handling their security measures effectively, then that's what's going to end up happening. So I don't know. I think as far as like where things go, hold on, give me one. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that if Sony and Microsoft is going out of their way to not being heavily responsible with their software and technical security functions to protect their consoles for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, then I don't think it really makes much of any difference if you're going to be better protected on the console or the PC. So I think it's clear as day to show that anybody can compromise, your security functions on console or PC, depending on what the scenario is, and if that does happen, you have to be careful with who you're interacting with online, and don't put yourself in harm's way where your console can be compromised, depending on what happens in these scenarios. So I mean, the hackers are definitely smart, and it wouldn't surprise me if there are people out of their way doing that to hack into games like Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Call of Duty, Street Fighter. There needs to be better regulation with monitoring the security software components and the physical technical components to make sure consoles are to be heavily protected at all costs. But yeah, back to Tekken. I think this game is definitely on its last legs, and I think this game could very well be over. We obviously saw a brand new character come in, like Fakaram, and I have to say, Fakaram, he's a very good character. I like watching Fakaram's gameplay. I do remember Fakaram back in the old days of Tekken, and he was a really good character. I really liked him a lot. I think the good thing about him is that he really makes up the game a lot more difficult to play because he's a really up close fighter. He has a Muay Thai background, and he's really powerful with a lot of the shots that he throws at you. So it's kind of like him fighting like a juggernaut level character, but he's really intelligent with how he designates his combos. But I will say certain characters like Steve actually give him like a really tough battle, and I say maybe Yoshi Mitsu. That's a really fun matchup to see. But yeah, Fakaram is really he's very good with like what he does, like in terms of like how he's structured with his gameplay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I would say my suggestions for Tekken to get better is that I think the development needs to be discontinued, but obviously still give out DLC to the fan base. But if this game wants to end up surviving, I think this game needs to stop making things broken. I think that if anything, the developers need to go back to the old things that were right in the game when it first launched, where you can only use heat one time, make rage art to be heavily punishable. So therefore, if you're going to be spamming like a broken move out of like a character to form that into like a rage art ultimate combo, there should be proper counterplay for either character to kind of see that in time to possibly react up against the attack. So I just think that's just something that should be implemented into Tekken if the developers want to see some light into the game, because like the game is like Tekken is a good game where it stands, but it's obviously just broken because there's like a lot of heavy offense in this game, and a lot of people just force a lot of like button mashing to kind of have their way with their character. So I think for the game to even make a impact, to win more fans, I think the developers for Tekken need to be a little bit more stricter with nerfing their game and stop making this game ultimately broken where you can just basically like juggle somebody to death like you see here with Steve, and there's barely any counterplay up against it because you're able to kind of just use whatever combo punish staggers to kind of have your way because you don't have any defensive resistance coming into the picture. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I wanted to kind of talk about Tekken today, and I think Tekken is definitely, on a very interesting path of either failing completely, or it could very well come back and maybe have a retribution to the fans. But it's definitely looking like Tekken could be out of the picture. So I would really hope that if they're gonna bring in more characters, maybe do some crossover characters. I'd really like to see Akuma come back from Street Fighter, but I was thinking Mortal Kombat could also be like a good idea because also I don't know if anybody has ever followed Street Fighter without the director talking about Mortal Kombat crossover, but he was considering in the past that Sub Zero should actually come to Street Fighter 6, and I was thinking like, you know what? If Mortal Kombat is quote unquote a dead game, which I do think it is, but the thing is that if MK is going to make a comeback along with Street Fighter having to fix their game, I think it would be a good idea to have Mortal Kombat characters come into games like Street Fighter or Tekken, because if you have that, you're now gonna make people be like, "Oh yeah, man, Scorpion or Sub Zero coming into Tekken or Street Fighter. I would love to have these guys come in, but yeah, like these characters would never stand up against my character." Like stuff like that is very well common within all fighting games, and I think that's something that we need to have back into the FGC community. Because if you're gonna have some really good fighting game crossover characters, bring in some characters that have some really good like with punishing abilities. So therefore, us gaming fans that you know that really want to see these characters in the mix with your favorite characters, that would be dope. I would love to see Rio into Mortal Kombat. I would like to see Fakaram into Street Fighter. Do you realize the amount of power fighting games have when you have other characters from other fighting games, and people are so incentivized to be like, yo, this character's coming into my game. Yeah, I can't wait till I put hands on this character, blah blah blah. Like that gives like fighting game community members or fighting game community. Oh wait, hold on, give me one sec. Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, I wanted to finalize my point to say crossover characters from other games give fighting game community fans a better incentive to say, yo, I want this character in my game, but I'm also motivated to support this game more. And I think that's what we need into fighting games, where the crossover characters bring a better mechanic structure to the game, but it also gives players the incentive to play their favorite characters more. And then on top of that, there needs to be more rewards for getting skins and also getting I, I would probably say gear. Have more rewards for skins and gear. I think that makes better sense for the FGC community. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I kind of just wanted to just talk about that, and I think this was a really interesting conversation that I wanted to bring up because Tekken is definitely like on a really bad stage right now, and it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen. I would hope that my boy Craig Marta comes into the roster, but a lot of people want to be raging up against Craig Marduk. So I'm very sorry for anybody's feelings that I got mad at to say that I want Craig Marduk back, because you know I want to be spamming my command grab combos like using Craig Marduk. But yeah, if he can come to the game into season 3, I think that's a season 3 DLC. That's what's happening, right? I would definitely like to see him in season 2 or season 3 DLC. I forgot what season Tekken is in, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to kind of sign off here. I'm gonna make a Call of Duty Warzone video to talk about Call of Duty Warzone, about my thoughts on it. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's gonna come out right now. So thank you guys for watching, and be sure to hit the like button, do what you gotta do. And this is K-Rod, 7